Question 1. According to California law and firearms safety principles, what is the primary purpose of securely storing firearms when not in use? A. To prevent damage to the firearm from environmental factors. B. To ensure quick access for self-defense. C. To prevent unauthorized access, especially by children and prohibited persons. D. To maintain the firearm's resale value. Answer: C. To prevent unauthorized access, especially by children and prohibited persons. Explanation: the core principle behind safe storage laws in California is preventing access to firearms by individuals who should not have them, particularly minors and persons legally prohibited from possessing firearms. Secure storage, like using a locked container or trigger lock, is mandated precisely to create a barrier that unauthorized individuals cannot easily bypass. This directly reduces the risk of unintentional injury, suicide, or theft and misuse of the firearm by those who lack training or are legally barred from possession. Always store your firearms securely to keep them out of the wrong hands. Question 2. When handling a firearm, you have followed the rule to keep your finger off the trigger. When is it permissible to place your finger inside the trigger guard? A. When you are about to point the firearm at the target. B. When the firearm is pointed in a safe direction and you have made the decision to shoot. C. As soon as the firearm is unloaded and the action is open. D. Only when you are cleaning the trigger mechanism. Answer: B. When the firearm is pointed in a safe direction and you have made the decision to shoot. Explanation: the rule, keep your finger off the trigger until your sights are on the target and you have decided to shoot, is a fundamental safety guideline. Your finger should remain outside the trigger guard and off the trigger itself until the firearm is pointed towards the intended target or backstop, and you are mentally prepared to fire. Placing your finger on the trigger prematurely increases the risk of an accidental discharge if you are startled or lose balance. Practice keeping your finger straight and off the trigger until the absolute moment you are ready to fire. Question 3. You are handed a firearm you believe to be unloaded. According to firearms safety rules, what should be the first thing you do upon receiving it? A. Point the muzzle in a safe direction. B. Immediately attempt to open the action to check for ammunition. C. Verify the magazine is removed. D. Hand it back if you are unsure of its condition. Answer: A. Point the muzzle in a safe direction. Explanation: the absolute first safety action when picking up any firearm, regardless of whether you believe it's loaded or unloaded, is to control the direction of the muzzle. This follows the principle, never point the muzzle at anything you are not willing to destroy. By immediately pointing the firearm in a safe direction, you ensure that even if it were to unexpectedly discharge, no harm would come to people or valuable property. Always prioritize muzzle control the moment a firearm is in your hands. Question 4. What is the primary risk associated with using improper ammunition in a firearm? A. Reduced accuracy. B. Increased recoil. C. Potential damage to the firearm and serious injury to the shooter or bystanders. D. Difficulty in loading the magazine. Answer: C. Potential damage to the firearm and serious injury to the shooter or bystanders. Explanation: using ammunition that is not specifically designed for your firearm can be extremely dangerous. Ammunition varies in caliber, power, and pressure, and using the wrong type can cause the firearm to fail catastrophically, potentially resulting in the barrel bursting or the action failing. This can lead to severe injury from escaping gases and fragments. Always verify that the caliber and type of ammunition precisely match the specifications marked on your firearm. Question 5. You have unloaded a semi-automatic pistol, removed the magazine, and checked that the chamber is empty. What is the final step to ensure the firearm is in a safe condition for temporary storage or transfer? A. Insert an empty magazine into the magazine well. B. Close the action and pull the trigger to drop the hammer/striker. C. Keep the action open. D. Engage the safety mechanism if present and functional. Answer: C. Keep the action open. Explanation: after unloading a semi-automatic pistol and verifying the chamber is empty, leaving the slide locked open provides a visual and physical confirmation that the firearm cannot currently fire. This is often a required step for safe handling demonstrations and shows anyone picking up the firearm that it is in a safe state. An open action is a universal signal that the firearm is unloaded and safe to handle for inspection or basic manipulation. Question 6. According to the core firearms safety rules, what does it mean to be sure of your target and what is beyond it? A. Only shoot at paper targets at an approved range. B. Identify your intended target clearly and know that your shot will not injure unintended persons or damage property beyond the target. C. Ensure your target is large enough to hit easily. D. Use a scope to positively identify your target from a distance. Answer: B. Identify your intended target clearly and know that your shot will not injure unintended persons or damage property beyond the target. Explanation: this rule emphasizes the importance of positive target identification and situational awareness. Before taking any shot, you must not only confirm you are aiming at your intended target but also consider what is located behind or around it. Bullets can travel long distances and penetrate many materials, so you are responsible for ensuring your shot will not endanger innocent bystanders or cause unwanted damage downrange. Always think about the potential path of your bullet and what lies behind your target. Question 7. Leaving a firearm unsecured in a vehicle where a minor could potentially gain access is considered A. Acceptable if the vehicle is parked on private property. B. A violation of safe storage principles and potentially illegal in California. C. Safe, provided the vehicle doors are locked. D. Only unsafe if ammunition is stored with the firearm. Answer: B. A violation of safe storage principles and potentially illegal in California. Explanation: California law requires firearms to be stored securely to prevent access by minors and prohibited persons, and leaving a firearm unsecured in a vehicle accessible to such individuals generally violates this requirement. A locked car alone is typically not considered sufficient secure storage if a minor or prohibited person has access to the keys or could otherwise enter the vehicle. Secure storage means making the firearm inaccessible through a lockbox, safe, or other approved locking device. Question 8. When performing a safety check on a revolver to ensure it is unloaded, what specific step must be taken after opening the cylinder? A. Dry fire the revolver to check the action. B. Inspect each chamber in the cylinder visually and physically. C. Spin the cylinder to ensure it rotates freely. D. Close the cylinder immediately after opening it. Answer: B. Inspect each chamber in the cylinder visually and physically. Explanation: to confirm a revolver is unloaded, you must open the cylinder and then visually inspect each chamber to ensure it is empty of cartridges. A physical check, like running a finger along the chambers, further confirms the absence of ammunition. Simply opening the cylinder or spinning it does not confirm emptiness. Each individual chamber must be verified. Always look closely at each chamber when checking a revolver. Question 9. The concept of positive control when handling a firearm primarily refers to A. Gripping the firearm firmly at all times. B. Maintaining physical and mental control over the firearm and its muzzle direction. C. Ensuring the safety mechanism is engaged. D. Having a California Firearms Safety Certificate. Answer: B. Maintaining physical and mental control over the firearm and its muzzle direction. Explanation: positive control means you are actively directing the firearm's muzzle, keeping your finger off the trigger, and are fully aware of the firearm's condition and surroundings. It's about maintaining complete physical command over the firearm and exercising responsible judgment. Having positive control ensures that the firearm does exactly what you intend it to do, and nothing you don't, reducing the likelihood of accidents. Always be in positive control of any firearm you handle. Question 10. Which of the following is considered an acceptable sturdy backstop when practicing shooting? A. A shallow body of water. B. A thick wooded area with unknown features beyond. C. A manufactured bullet trap designed for the caliber being used. D. An open field leading towards a populated area. Answer: C. A manufactured bullet trap designed for the caliber being used. Explanation: a sturdy backstop is essential to safety because it is designed to safely stop and contain bullets, preventing them from traveling uncontrollably downrange. Manufactured bullet traps are specifically engineered for this purpose and are considered safe backstops. Natural features like water or woods may allow bullets to ricochet or pass through, and shooting towards populated areas is inherently unsafe. Always ensure your shooting location has a reliable backstop capable of stopping your rounds. Question 11. Why is it crucial to treat every firearm as if it were loaded, even if you believe it to be unloaded? A. Because it saves time compared to checking if it's loaded. B. Because it reinforces safe handling habits and prevents complacency. C. Because California law requires this assumption. D. Because unloaded firearms can still be dangerous. Answer: B. Because it reinforces safe handling habits and prevents complacency. Explanation: the rule, always assume a firearm is loaded, is fundamental because it establishes a mindset of caution and respect for the potential danger of any firearm. By treating every firearm as if it could fire, you are more likely to consistently follow the other safety rules, such as controlling the muzzle and keeping your finger off the trigger. This assumption prevents complacency and builds the safe habits necessary to avoid tragic accidents. Start with the assumption that every firearm is loaded every time you handle it. Question 12. What is the primary function of the safety mechanism on a firearm? A. To prevent the firearm from ever being loaded. B. To make the firearm safe to point in any direction. C. To help prevent an unintentional discharge when properly engaged and the firearm is handled safely. D. To replace the need for safe storage practices. Answer: C. To help prevent an unintentional discharge when properly engaged and the firearm is handled safely. Explanation: a firearm's safety mechanism is a mechanical device designed to help prevent the firearm from firing when engaged. However, safeties are mechanical and can fail, and they do not protect against negligent handling. They are an aid to safe handling, not a substitute for following all safety rules, like keeping your finger off the trigger and controlling the muzzle. Never rely solely on a safety mechanism, it is just one part of responsible firearm handling. Question 13. Under California law, who is specifically prohibited from accessing firearms in a home under safe storage requirements? A. Only convicted felons. B. Any person prohibited by state or federal law from possessing firearms, and minors, persons under 18 years of age. C. Only persons with a history of mental illness. D. Guests who are not licensed hunters. Answer: B. Any person prohibited by state or federal law from possessing firearms, and minors, persons under 18 years of age. Explanation: California's safe storage laws are designed primarily to prevent access by two specific groups: individuals legally prohibited from owning firearms, such as convicted felons or those with certain domestic violence convictions, and anyone under the age of 18, minors. Secure storage methods ensure that these individuals cannot easily obtain and misuse firearms. Responsible gun ownership includes ensuring your firearms are inaccessible to those who should not have them. Question 14. When clearing a semi-automatic pistol, after removing the magazine, what is the critical next step? A. Pulling the trigger. B. Engaging the safety. C. Racking the slide firmly to extract any round from the chamber. D. Visually inspecting the magazine well. Answer: C. Racking the slide firmly to extract any round from the chamber. Explanation: after dropping the magazine from a semi-automatic pistol, there might still be a live round in the chamber. To clear the chamber, you must retract the slide fully and decisively to eject any round that might be present. This action clears the chamber and is essential for making the firearm safe. Always rack the slide multiple times after removing the magazine to ensure the chamber is empty. Question 15. You are at a shooting range, and the range officer calls a ceasefire. What is the immediate and required action you must take with your firearm? A. Finish shooting the rounds currently in the magazine. B. Safely unload the firearm, point the muzzle downrange, and step back from the firing line. C. Engage the safety and place the firearm on the bench, but stay at the firing line. D. Point the muzzle upwards and wait for further instructions. Answer: B. Safely unload the firearm, point the muzzle downrange, and step back from the firing line. Explanation: a ceasefire command signifies that all shooting must stop immediately for safety reasons, such as inspecting targets or addressing a problem downrange. During a ceasefire, you are required to make your firearm safe by unloading it, ensuring the action is open, if applicable, pointing the muzzle downrange, towards the backstop, and stepping away from the shooting position behind the designated safety line. Adhering strictly to ceasefire procedures is vital for everyone's safety on the range. Question 16. The primary purpose of learning safe firearm handling procedures before obtaining a firearm is to A. Meet a legal requirement for purchasing. B. Demonstrate proficiency in marksmanship. C. Prevent accidents and ensure responsible firearm ownership. D. Understand the historical significance of firearms. Answer: C. Prevent accidents and ensure responsible firearm ownership. Explanation: the fundamental reason for learning and practicing safe firearm handling is to avoid unintentional injuries, fatalities, or property damage. Safe handling procedures, including the basic safety rules, are designed to mitigate risks associated with firearms. Responsible ownership begins with understanding and consistently applying these safety principles every time you interact with a firearm. Knowledge of safe handling is the cornerstone of preventing firearm accidents. Question 17. When you pick up a firearm, and before anything else, you confirm the muzzle is pointed in a safe direction. This action directly addresses which of the fundamental safety rules? A. Be sure of your target and what is beyond it. B. Keep your finger off the trigger until ready to shoot. C. Never point the muzzle at anything you are not willing to destroy. D. Always treat every firearm as if it were loaded. Answer: C. Never point the muzzle at anything you are not willing to destroy. Explanation: directly addressing where the muzzle is pointed the moment you handle a firearm is the practical application of the rule, never point the muzzle at anything you are not willing to destroy. This rule emphasizes that where the bullet goes is determined by where the muzzle is directed, making muzzle control paramount. By establishing a safe muzzle direction first, you ensure that even if an unexpected discharge were to occur, it would not cause harm. Muzzle control is non-negotiable. Question 18. What distinguishes an unintentional discharge from a negligent discharge? A. An unintentional discharge happens due to mechanical failure, while a negligent discharge happens due to human error. B. An unintentional discharge causes no injury, while a negligent discharge always causes injury. C. An unintentional discharge is synonymous with a negligent discharge in safety training. D. An unintentional discharge results from faulty ammunition, while a negligent discharge results from improper handling. Answer: C. An unintentional discharge is synonymous with a negligent discharge in safety training. Explanation: in the context of firearms safety training, the terms unintentional discharge and negligent discharge are often used interchangeably to describe a shot fired when the shooter did not intend to fire. While some might try to assign different nuances, any discharge that isn't the result of a conscious decision to shoot at an intended target is typically considered negligent because it results from a failure to follow fundamental safety rules. The goal of safe handling is to prevent any unintended discharge. Question 19. Leaving a loaded firearm unattended on a table in your home, even for a short time, violates which primary safety principle? A. Being sure of your target. B. Keeping your finger off the trigger. C. Safe storage and preventing unauthorized access. D. Assuming the firearm is loaded. Answer: C. Safe storage and preventing unauthorized access. Explanation: leaving a loaded firearm unsecured and accessible, even temporarily, violates the principle of safe storage because it does not prevent access by unauthorized individuals, including children or visitors who might be prohibited persons. Firearms should be unloaded or secured in a locked container or with a locking device when not under the immediate control of the owner. Always prioritize securing your firearm to prevent unintended access. Question 20. Which statement best describes the importance of verifying the condition of a firearm, loaded or unloaded, through both visual and physical checks? A. Visual checks are sufficient for most firearms, but physical checks add an extra layer of safety. B. Relying on only one method, visual or physical, could lead to overlooking ammunition. C. Physical checks are more reliable than visual checks for determining if a firearm is unloaded. D. Verifying the condition is only necessary if you are unfamiliar with the firearm. Answer: B. Relying on only one method, visual or physical, could lead to overlooking ammunition. Explanation: to be certain a firearm is unloaded, it is essential to use both your eyes, visual inspection, and your hands, physical inspection. Visually looking into the chamber or magazine well confirms the absence of ammunition, while physically checking with a finger can detect rounds that might not be immediately visible or confirm the absence of resistance where a round would be. Combining both methods significantly reduces the chance of mistakenly believing a firearm is unloaded when it is not. Always look and feel to be sure. Question 21. You have just finished cleaning a firearm. Before storing it, what is the most important final safety step? A. Test the trigger pull. B. Re-engage the safety mechanism. C. Verify it is unloaded and the action is open, if applicable. D. Apply a final coat of oil to the exterior. Answer: C. Verify it is unloaded and the action is open, if applicable. Explanation: after cleaning or performing any maintenance on a firearm, it is absolutely critical to perform a thorough safety check to confirm it is unloaded before putting it away. This involves visually inspecting the chamber and magazine area and often leaving the action open to serve as a clear indicator of its safe state. Never assume a firearm is unloaded after handling it for maintenance, always verify its condition. Question 22. If you are unsure about how to operate or safely handle a particular firearm, what is the most responsible course of action? A. Ask a friend who owns a similar firearm for advice. B. Attempt to figure it out by carefully examining the firearm. C. Seek instruction from a certified firearms safety instructor. D. Load it carefully to see how it functions. Answer: C. Seek instruction from a certified firearms safety instructor. Explanation: handling a firearm without knowing how to operate it safely is inherently dangerous. The most responsible approach is to seek proper instruction from a qualified and certified professional. A certified instructor can teach you the specific handling procedures, safety features, and safe operation of that particular firearm model. Never guess or experiment when it comes to firearm safety, get professional training. Question 23. The primary reason for maintaining the muzzle control rule, never point the muzzle, even when you are certain the firearm is unloaded is: A. To avoid wear and tear on the muzzle. B. To practice good habits in case the firearm is actually loaded. C. To prevent the internal parts from shifting. D. To comply with range rules, even at home. Answer: B. To practice good habits in case the firearm is actually loaded. Explanation: consistently following the muzzle control rule, even with firearms you know are unloaded, builds a crucial safety habit. This discipline ensures that if you ever mistakenly handle a firearm that is loaded, your ingrained habit of pointing the muzzle in a safe direction will prevent an accident. Safe handling is about consistent practice, not just applying rules when you think they are necessary. Make safe muzzle direction an automatic habit. Question 24. What is the purpose of a California-approved locking device, like a trigger lock or cable lock? A. To completely disable the firearm permanently. B. To prevent unauthorized access to the firearm's action or trigger mechanism, rendering it inoperable by unauthorized persons. C. To indicate that the firearm is unloaded. D. To improve the firearm's stability during storage. Answer: B. To prevent unauthorized access to the firearm's action or trigger mechanism, rendering it inoperable by unauthorized persons. Explanation: California-approved locking devices are designed as a method of secure storage, specifically to prevent someone, particularly a minor or prohibited person, from being able to load or fire the firearm. These devices block the trigger, action, or other critical parts, making the firearm non-functional without the key or combination. They are a key component of meeting California's safe storage requirements. Using a locking device is a responsible way to secure your firearm. Question 25. Before dry firing a firearm, practicing trigger pull without ammunition, what is the absolute most critical step to ensure safety? A. Ensure you are pointing the firearm at a safe target. B. Verify multiple times that the firearm is completely unloaded and there is no ammunition present. C. Inform anyone nearby that you are about to dry fire. D. Ensure the safety mechanism is engaged. Answer: B. Verify multiple times that the firearm is completely unloaded and there is no ammunition present. Explanation: The greatest risk during dry firing practice is mistaking a loaded firearm for an unloaded one. It is paramount to meticulously and repeatedly check the chamber, magazine well, and surrounding area to ensure no live ammunition is present before beginning to dry fire. Accidental discharges during dry firing practice most often occur because this critical safety check was not performed correctly. Always double-check, then check again, that the firearm and the area are completely free of ammunition before dry firing.